Manikya Prabhave, Gajanana, Shri Guru Yatindra Raghavendraya, Paramapuja, Avatar, Avadhuta, Jagadguru, Shri Datta Ganapat Sachidananda, Siddharaja Yoginath, Shri Gurunath, Shri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa Maharaja, Sharda Mataye, Ramana Maharshi, Mahavatar Babaji Maharaj, Lahiri Mahasaya, Yukteswar Giri, Yogananda, Gauranga Nitayi, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Trailinga Maharaja, Bhet Narayana, Sadashiva, Brahmendra Maharaja, Nagajeta, Jayalakshmi Mata, Jillela Mudi Mata, Adi Guru Shankaracharya, Chandrasekhara Saraswati Maharaja, Nagajeta, Jayalakshmi Mata, Jillela Mata, Anandamayi, Anagha Samet, Gurudatta Maharaja, Tara Mata ki Jaya Ho Jaya Ho, Shripadarajam Sharanam Prapatye, Shripadarajam Sharanam Prapatye, Shripadarajam Sharanam Prapatye, Shripadarajam Sharanam Prapatye. Jaya Shri Mahavatar Babaji Maharaj ki Jaya Ho Jaya Ho. Very glad to inform and share that today also Janama Guna Sankeerthana is blessed to continue the Satsanga. As a part of Bhakti Kriya Yoga in Jayanama Guna Sankirtana or through Jayanama Guna Sankirtana, we are learning or relearning the autobiography of a yogi. However, we should also honestly say that without the blessings of Samastha Guru Mandali and Mahavatar Babaji Maharaja, Lahiri Mahasaya, Yukteswar Giri Maharaja, Yogananda Maharaja, and Samastha Guru Mandali, this could have been never possible. So today also we have been blessed once again to relearn the autobiography of a yogi. So we have been relearning the autobiography of a yogi by understanding or by relearning through the first chapter, My Parents and Early Life. So yesterday, our Yogananda Maharaja blessed the conversation which has taken place between Gangadhar Babu and Paramapuja Lahiri Mahasaya. So he was telling that I see it cannot, but Holy Sir, I lovingly desire a picture of your bodily temple. So Gangadhar Babu almost he was boasting himself for telling that I am the good photographer and so on and so forth, but he could not picture Lahiri Mahasaya. So he later realized that it is not possible for me until you bless. So Lahiri Mahasaya says, yes, I'll give you a pose tomorrow. You please come and take a photograph. Like that. And in addition to that, we also been relearning that the Paramapuja Lahiri Mahashaya never posed for another picture. At least I have seen none. See, Yogananda Maharaja is telling us. Now, the Satsanga continues like this. The photograph is reproduced in this book. The other day we have seen Lahiri Mahashaya, where under Mahavatar Babaji Maharaja here also, we have seen the photograph of Paramapuja Lahiri Mahashaya, where he was sitting in lotus posture. So, Lahiri Mahashaya's fair features of a universal caste hardly suggest to what race he belonged. So, this is the ultimate, one can say. A pure devotee or disciple can easily understand the word. The photograph is reproduced in this book because the blessings of Lahiri Mahashaya. He also, Lahiri Mahashaya and Yogananda Maharaja, Mahavatar Babaji Maharaja, everyone has blessed every devotee to visualize how the Lahiri Mahashaya is. So, Yogda Maharaja has taken a bold initiative to reproduce that photograph in Autobiography of a Yogi. And Lahiri Mahashaya's fair features. Look at that. Yogda Maharaja is talking about the personality of Lahiri Mahashaya. The fair features, fair, very pleasant and fair features of a universal caste. That means he is a divine form. He is omnipresent. He is a God. He is Guru, Sadguru. So, hardly suggests to what race he belonged. We don't have any words to express or define to which race the Paramapuja Lahiri Mahasaya belongs to. The joy of God communion is slightly revealed in his enigmatic smile. Now, this is a great relearning to all of us. So, Yogda Maharaj is telling that we don't have any words to explain the fair complexion or fair personality, divine personality of our Guru Paramapuja Lahiri Mahashaya, because he is a divine form. And in addition to that, his our Yogdananda Maharaja is helping us to relearn that the joy of God communion is slightly revealed in his enigmatic smile. So here, two important things that we have to relearn. What does it mean? The joy of God communion. So, hope everyone knew what is God communion. Can anyone write what is God communion? Have you ever, any devotee, have you ever heard about it? Or you know what is God communion? We'll be waiting for that. Okay, good. God communion. See, what happens is the God communion. Generally, we don't have any words actually, basically, to say the union with God, the communion of God. Once we achieve that state, there are no words to explain. So, God communion, generally, our holy scriptures suggest us to learn that God communion is sharing or exchanging of intimate thoughts with and feelings, both intimate thoughts and feelings between a devotee or a person's spirit and the divine, the God or the Guru. So here we are limiting it to God communion. Of course, Guru communion also is possible. When you move along with Guru, thinking every time about Guru, all 24 hours, then that we call it as Guru communion. If we are always associated and have an intimacy of sharing our personal relations, our personal feelings, experiences, thoughts with God, then that is called as God communion. Jagat Guru Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa Maharaja used to be always in that state. And an extended God communion is called as Samadhi, the state of Samadhi. Now, so it's nothing but a mutual interaction which takes place between God and the devotee or the disciple. So, the devotee would like to share and feel the omnipresence of the God every time, all 24 hours, 365 days for lifetime. That we call it as God communion. So, for example, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa Maharaja used to say a small story to his devotees. Of course, he's also telling us today Jaya Guna Sankeerthana is very much blessed to relearn the story of which was told by Sri Jagat Guru Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa Maharaja as a part of Bhakti Kriya Yoga about the God communion with a simple example of a salt doll, devotional doll, a toy, salt doll. So once a small a small doll, okay, once a small doll made of salt, thought set out on a journey to measure the depth of the ocean, the great ocean. So it thought to itself that let me go and see. People are talking about the ocean. Let me see the what is this great ocean. Like that, it thought. The salt doll. It had spent, of course, entire life on the shore, hearing about the vastness of the ocean every time by many a people. It decided to understand, experience the and record, not only experience but also record the truth for itself. How big is the ocean? People are talking ocean, vast ocean, like that. So it it made him itself to understand and experience the depth of the ocean, and also record it back so that it will help others. See how good, humble uh, we can say uh, act, humble act, like that we can say. So one day what happened, the doll walked across the sand until its tiny salt feet touched the water's edge on the shore of the ocean. So as it stepped further, so slowly it is walking on the shore of the beach or ocean. When as it is getting stepped into the ocean, slowly water is touching. And now the toy, I mean the small salt doll, is asking, "Who are you?" The ocean. It is asking, "Who are you?" Now, see, very interesting, because it wanted to know who is the ocean, how vast it is, how big it is, how much depth it has. It wanted to experience it and record it for furthering the process. So now ocean said with a louder voice, "Oh doll, oh salt doll, come yourself, come and see yourself." Now see the conversation which has been taking place between the ocean and the salt doll. So slowly, as the doll waded deeper into the waves, slowly one can understand that a strange thing is happening. What could be the strange thing? Slowly, the water began to dissolve its form, isn't it? Little, 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 because it is a salt doll. So further, it went deeper, and closely it has melting down. Slowly, it is started melting. Now, as it is uh, going deeper inside, penetrating itself into the ocean, it is losing its form because it's a salt doll. Now, as it is getting into the ocean, going deeper into the ocean, slowly it is losing its form and started telling to the ocean, "Oh God," with the what we call it as ecstatic wonder. "Oh, I understood now. I understood. Now I know what I am." Like that, the salt doll is telling. Now, what does it mean here? The salt doll, which thought that it will understand the ocean, experience the ocean, record it, what is the truth, but it did not come out. So, God communion is like that. It is not an interview between God and disciple. It is an experience which not sometimes, certainly we will not have any words to state the or explain the God. That is the story which was being usually told by Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa Maharaj. So God communion says that you will not see as a separate one. You'll mix it with the ocean. That means I is dissolved. I is dissolved. We will merge into the ocean. Nothing but the source is the ocean. That is God. So it says once a devotee or disciple enters that highest order of God communion, definitely he or she will not have any words. That is called as a deep state of samadhi. That we call it as samadhi sthiti or samadhi state. So the doll went to find out the depth of the ocean, and it realized that slowly it has lost its form. So I mixed with the Paramatma, Atma mixing with Paramatma. That's it. So here I should go off. So when we wanted to have that God communion, the total surrenderance is required. Total surrenderance. And most importantly, the balance. The balance of state is very, very important. Now, God communion, the joy of God communion is slightly revealed in his enigmatic smile. If you look at Lahiri Mahasaya, you would have seen, and every one of us, yesterday also we saw it. Lahiri Mahasaya, half the eyes are closed, half are the open, with a very, very, it is called as enigmatic smile, beyond words. Such a pleasure square, pleasure to the power of n, enigmatic. His eyes half open to denote a nominal interest in the outer world, are also half closed, indicating his absorption in inner bliss. So, what does it mean? Our Yogananda Maharaja is telling Jainama Guna Sankeerthana to relearn that a saint, especially when we are talking about Paramapuja Lahiri Mahasaya, his enigmatic smile and his eyes are half closed and half open. So the half open, which are nothing but denote a nominal interest in the outer world, just like that, just to maintain that body and maintain that functioning. They are little, very little only. They are interested in worldly matters, and other half inside the inner bliss. They were enjoying the inner bliss. Inner bliss. That's a real, real, real vibe. If anyone would have enjoyed that inner bliss, we will carve for that. Every time we wanted that. So that's the way the God communion is possible. So Lahiri Mahasaya is the joy of God communion is slightly revealed because half open and half closed eyes. So what we have to relearn is because of devotees, Lahiri Mahasaya was just showcasing the half closed, or only to say that I'm also bodily there, but I'm beyond that. I'm the spirit. And oblivious or oblivious of the poor lures of the earth, he was fully awake at all times to the spiritual problems of seekers who approached for his bounty. Look at that. So, however, he's partly nominal interest. Yogda Maharaja says nominal interest. So, partly he's interested in world matters, but however, very much he was fully awake at all the times to the spiritual problems of seekers. So we will get a lot of experiences in meditation or in Bhakti Kriya Yoga or in bhajans or in Devatarchan, whatever it is. In spiritual practices, we will get so many doubts, so many experiences, so many spiritual problems. For instance, one devotee was asking Jayanamugana Sankeerthana that as she was progressing through meditation, deep meditation, there was a sound in the backside of the elbow. Oh, not elbow, neck, backside of the neck, the spine cord. So, and she also noticed that there is a sound called cut, 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 like that during meditation. Just people think if they are not in practice of spirituality or they are not in spiritual path, they don't even know that. What does it mean? So just imagine a devotee who sat continuously doing meditation. She noticed that there is a sound backside from neck to the spine, the spine cord. And the sound she noticed is a tuck, 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 like that. So she asked Jayanamugana Sankirtana in one satsanga, Shona, what does it mean? I'm a bit worried. What does it mean? So the answer, obviously, Mahavatar Babaji and Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa Maharaja helped her to tell her. that this is the pattern, like that. So these experiences or these problems, who wanted to know and progress spiritually, may approach and approach Lahiri Mahasaya, because Lahiri Mahasaya is open to it. So shortly after my healing through the potency of the Guru's picture, now Yogda Maharaj is also telling that shortly after my healing, so he was suffering with Asiatic cholera, and Lahiri Mahashaya blessed him to recover very fast. It has happened within no time. After my healing through the potency of the Guru's picture, so with the blessings of Guru's picture, Lahiri Mahashaya picture, I had an influential spiritual vision. Yogda Maharaja is telling. After this immediate, healing, Yogda Maharaja had a influential spiritual vision. Now, please understand, as a sadhaka or a devotee, we may also come across these kind of experiences. No, or spiritual visions. This happens. This happens in during your no. mm, It can be said like in spiritual path, because all paths are same. It can be Bhakti Kriya Yoga, it can be Dhyana Yoga, or it can be Bhajana Yoga, or it can be Jnana Yoga, it can be Karma Yoga, whatever it is possible to have experience these kind of visions and some kind of unknown or unimaginable issues, we would say. Of course, it is a very small term to be used, issues, but experiences, that is the right word to be used. The problems and experiences. Some are wisdom oriented. So we may feel that it is only a hallucination. Some may feel it is a meditative part. Some may feel that we are on the path, but they are not. Some may feel that we have progressed to that extent. So what is next? Like that, so many spiritual experiences would crop up. So that's the reason Guru is always there to help us. So the Yukteswar Giri, our Yogda Maharaja is telling, shortly after my healing through the potency of the Guru's picture, the Lahiri Mahashaya picture, I had an influential spiritual vision. Now, what is that spiritual vision? Sitting on my bed one morning, I fell into a deep concentration. Look at that. Now, what also we have to relearn is just to extend the satsanga on God communion, because we have taken one classic example of salt doll. Like that, before getting on to the spiritual influential vision of Yogda Maharaja, we also should know one more divine ambassador called as Brother Lawrence, who was almost in God communion. So, what Yogda Maharaja is blessing us to relearn is the devotee can also continue, not only sadhaka, any devotee, even if he started his journey, can maintain that God communion. So, Brother Lawrence, people used to call him Brother Lawrence. He's a 17th century monk, Brother Lawrence. So he spent decades working in busy monastery kitchen. Brother Lawrence spent nearly almost for entire life. Earlier, he was working with military. Uh, he spent all his religious life in Paris, in France, Brother Lawrence. Now, what is interesting is, unlike many saints, because some saints may be going away from the home places and try to reach out the very calm, serene ashrams, and may also look forward for very silent caves or high level mountains, and so on. However, Brother Lawrence found communion among the pots, pans, and peeling vegetables because he was working in uh, that monastery in Paris. So he was known as Brother. Uh, he is also one second known as Nicholas. Yeah, Nicholas Herman. So earlier, as we were mentioning, he was working with military. He was a soldier, and of course, people used to recognize him as a very very clumsy footman before joining this Carmelite monastery in Paris. So, what was a job given to Brother Lawrence was washing dishes, in helping kitchen, peeling potatoes or any vegetables per se. But these all were disturbing activities, isn't it? To maintain God communion, we should have that serene and peaceful environment, like any sage or saint or any sadhaka would look forward. But in the case of Brother Lawrence in 17th century, even in spite of all these distractions in the kitchen, he used to maintain that communion with God while peeling the vegetables or while scrubbing the floor or washing the dishes. He converted all the distractions into prayer. For example, Brother Lawrence used to think that he's peeling a vegetable. He's thinking that I'm peeling vegetable to God. God is there to have it. God is looking at me. Like that, he used to maintain the communion with God. Look at that. Almost every time, almost for next 40 years, he maintained that the God communion, and very, very, every time he used to feel the presence of the God. What is interesting is that no single distraction, no single distraction has distracted him. That is the best way to say. Or no single disturbance has distracted him on the goal of God communion. Now, slowly people have noticed that even in this noise and clutter kind of kitchen hall, Brother Lawrence is maintaining or enjoying that communion. So people have started coming to him. Almost majority of all the devotees used to come and feel his experience with the God and feel very happy about it. The present state of God communion of Brother Lawrence. So, what we have to relearn from this is very simple. God communion is possible to every one of us, every sadhaka or devotee. See the case of Mata Shabari in Sri Ram, Lord Sri Rama. Shabari waited almost for lifetime, one can say. So how she maintained that communion with God of Lord Sri Rama? There were some berries every single day. She used to uh, taste it, those forest berries, taste it. If they tasted nice, she used to keep it. If not, she used to throw it out because she was thinking that she has to feed one of the best berries to Lord Rama. So now, see, that has become tapasya, austerity. That has become communion with God. So, every devotee can also, or every disciple, every sadhaka can start, initiate If already we are in the process of that, it is okay. But if someone wanted to step onto the spiritual path and move forward, progress spiritually, so we can also start. Very simple. How to maintain God communion? So we will think that God is with us, number one. Number two, so whatever we take as a supper or a lunch or breakfast, we'll offer it to God. Suppose the daily chores, what especially women do in kitchen. So like Brother Lawrence, when someone is peeling, so she can think that I'm peeling it because this is the gift given by God, even that vegetable, thanksgiving. And after peeling it, okay, in the form of the God, in the form of my husband and children, they would eat it. Look at that. So every time we are trying to communicate, feel the presence of God and maintain that personal relationship with God. That is the highest order in Bhakti Kriya Yoga, God communion. So, cooking, washing dishes, anywhere, anytime. So, even when we try to have some food, that food can be offered to the God as prasad. Anything. But all this should be not out of attachments, not out of pride, not out of that people would look at. No, only out of love, no expectations, nishkama, nothing is expected while doing these activities for the God, to the God, and only for the God. So, in that way, God communion is possible to ordinary sadhaka also. That what our Sri Yogda Maharaja, Samastha Guru Mandali, telling us to relearn. Very nice of it. I think we are a bit short of time. Yeah, please write Jaya Paramahamsa Yogananda Maharaja. Jaya Paramahamsa Yogananda Maharaja. Jaya Paramahamsa Yogananda Maharaja. Oh, very good. One question. Yeah, you can write the questions. Someone is writing on. Can you just write what was the question? Of course, if that can be shared publicly, then Shivanna would dare with the blessings of Yogda Maharaja. If it is in cannot be shared across in public forum like our Jayanamaguna Sankeerthana medium, now in physical satsanga we can discuss. Or sorry, we can do satsanga. We shouldn't say discuss. We will do satsanga. शिवाय गुरवे रुद्राय नमः 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 शिवाय गुरवे रुद्राय
Rudraya Namaha. Namah Shivayam, 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 Namah Shivayam. Shivaya Gurave Babaji Namaha. 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 Shivaya Gurave Rudraya 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 Namaha. Namah Shivayam, 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 Namah Shivayam. Shivaya Gurave Babaji Namaha. 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 Namah Shivayam, Namah Shivayam, Namah Shivayam, Namah Shivayam. Namah Shivayam, 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 Namah Shivayam. Shivaya Gurave Rudraya Namaha. 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 Hari Om Aim Hrim Shrim Shvaramanaghadataya Namaha. 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 Om Aim Hrim Shrim Shvaramanagam Dataya 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 नमः ॐ ऐं ह्रीं श्रीं स्वरामानघं दत्ताय नमः ॐ ऐं ह्रीं श्रीं स्वरामानघं दत्ताय नमः ॐ ऐं ह्रीं श्रीं स्वरामानघं दत्ताय नमः ॐ ऐं ह्रीं श्रीं स्वरामानघदत्ताय नमः ॐ ऐं ह्रीं श्रीं स्वरामानघं दत्ताय 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 नमः ॐ ऐं ह्रीं श्रीं स्वरामानघदत्ताय नमः ॐ ऐं ह्रीं श्रीं स्वरामानघं दत्ताय नमः ॐ ऐं ह्रीं श्रीं स्वरामानघ दत्ताय नमः जय तारा माता समस्त गुरु मंडली की जय समस्त गुरु मंडली की जय समस्त गुरु मंडली की जय अनगा दत्त महाराज की जय अनगा दत्त महाराज की जय अनगा दत्त महाराज की जय तारा माता की जय तारा माता की जय तारा माता की जय जय नाम गुण संकीर्तन की जय जय नाम गुण संकीर्तन की जय जय नाम गुण संकीर्तन की जय